Have you ever felt like you're falling behind, like your life should be further along by now? You see others winning, moving, growing, and you wonder, why not me? But what if I told you you're not behind at all? You're right on time in Allah's perfect plan. What feels like a delay is actually a divine setup. The silence, the waiting, the setbacks, they're not rejection, they're refinement. Allah is not punishing you, He's preparing you. Because when He gives in full. And when it's your time, not even the mountains can stand in the way. So stop worrying about the clock and start trusting the Qadr. What's written for you is coming with more power, more wisdom, and more barakah than you ever imagined. Delay is not denial, it's divine alignment. Delay is not denial, it's divine alignment. Just because it hasn't arrived yet doesn't mean it's not coming. Allah may be holding it back to give you more than what you asked for. Sometimes the delay is protecting you from something your heart can't see. If He gives too early, you may not be ready to carry it with strength and gratitude. So when nothing moves, it doesn't mean your prayers are ignored. It means they're being answered with precision. Trust His pace. It's perfect. What's meant for you will never rush you into chaos. It will come with ease, with barakah, and with confirmation in your heart. When you try to chase what's already written, you exhaust your soul. But when you slow down and trust the author of your story, things begin to unfold with divine grace. You don't need to force anything. What's written for you will reach you even if it's beneath two mountains. And what isn't will slip through your hands even if it's between your lips. Before Allah blesses you in public, He purifies you in private. The waiting season might feel like rejection, but it's actually preparation. He's building the character to carry what you prayed for. He's strengthening your patience, shaping your mindset, and anchoring your faith. Many people want the blessing without the becoming, but Allah wants you to grow before you receive, so you don't lose what He gives. Don't resent the silence. It's your spiritual training ground. Your timeline is not His plan. You may think you're behind, that life should be different by now, but Allah is not late. He is exact. His mercy is not bound by your age or calendar. He gives when the soul is ready, not when the clock says it's time. So if it's taking long, it's because He's perfecting what's to come. Trust that you're not being delayed, you're being developed. He doesn't give crumbs to His beloved servants. He gives in full when the moment is right. Waiting is not weakness. It's one of the most powerful spiritual exercises. The more you wait while remaining firm in faith, the more you build unshakable trust in Allah. Your silent tears in sujood, your whispered du'as, and your choice to believe even when you can't see, that's your spiritual muscle being strengthened. And when the time finally comes, you'll not just be relieved, you'll be ready. The wait will have shaped you into someone worthy of the gift. Sometimes your du'as are answered without noise, no signs, no signals. But in the background, the angels are moving. The people you need are being guided toward you. The path is being carved even as you sleep. Just because you can't see change doesn't mean Allah isn't working. The unseen is always moving for the one who prays. Stay consistent, stay sincere, and believe this: your words never fall on deaf ears when they rise to the most merciful. When the blessing finally arrives, it will make sense why it took so long. You'll see the wisdom behind every delay, every no, and every detour. Allah was never withholding from you. He was upgrading what you asked for. You may have prayed for something small, but He turned it into something transformative. You wanted ease. He gave you growth. You wanted change. He gave you elevation. So don't be surprised when the answer is more than you imagined. Life may feel slow now. Everyone else seems to be ahead. But don't measure your journey with someone else's timeline. Their path is not your qadr. You are exactly where you need to be to receive exactly what you've been praying for. The delays are not rejection, they're preparation. The quiet season is not abandonment, it's mercy. Allah is doing more for you behind the scenes than you could ever do with your own hands. Trust His wisdom. Sometimes Allah holds something back to give you something better. That heartbreak that crushed you, it protected you. That opportunity that passed, it redirected you. That delay in results, it refined you. You're not being denied, you're being upgraded. But upgrades take time, and divine ones take surrender. So when you don't understand what's happening, just say, Ya Allah, I trust you even when I don't understand you. Nothing is random in your life. The pain, the pauses, the people who left, it all served a divine purpose. Allah is not careless with your journey. Every detail is written with mercy and love. You don't need to figure it all out. You just need to remain firm in tawakkul. Let Allah unfold the wisdom in His own time. The author of your story is not done writing, and what's to come will make you thank Him for what didn't. Barakah doesn't come from rushing. It comes from trusting. When you try to force what you think is best, you block what Allah knows is better. Barakah arrives in places of patience, in hearts that surrender, and in decisions made with tawakkul. When you let go of your own timeline and cling to His promises, you create space for abundance, not just in wealth, but in peace, clarity, and meaning. So if today feels uncertain, heavy, or hopeless, pause, breathe. You are not forgotten, you are not behind, you are being prepared for something that your soul will understand later. Don't panic because of the silence, don't doubt because of the delay. Your qadr is already in motion and it's moving toward you with mercy, power and barakah. Trust the process, trust the waiting, and above all, trust Allah. What's meant for you is never rushed. What Allah has written for you does not need to be forced. You don't need to beg for it, chase after it desperately, or worry that it's slipping away. When something is truly yours in the qadr of Allah, it will arrive no sooner, no later. We live in a world that rushes everything, success, marriage, wealth, but Allah does not rush what is perfect. His plans are not delayed, they are precise, and when the moment comes, you'll understand why He made you wait. Now, we often think speed equals success. We want to get there quickly, show results, prove our worth. But Allah is not concerned with how fast you rise. He cares about how firm you stand. When something is rushed, it breaks. When something is built slowly, it lasts. That's why your journey may feel slower than others, because He's not building a moment, He's building a foundation, one that can handle the blessing without it destroying you. When you rush into something not written for you, it will feel heavy on your soul. You may try to force relationships, opportunities, or decisions, but they'll keep slipping, breaking, and exhausting you. That's not barakah. That's your sign to pause, to release control, and return to Allah's timeline. The heart was not created to carry the weight of forced outcomes. It was created to surrender, and in that surrender, it finds peace. There is a beauty in divine pacing. It teaches you patience, gratitude, and humility. When Allah slows things down, it's not to hurt you, it's to heal you. Every delay polishes your character. Every pause refines your intentions. And every moment you spend waiting with sabr, you're being elevated without even knowing it. You may not see progress outwardly, but inwardly you are being prepared for something greater than you expected. We often want something now, but Allah waits until we can truly appreciate it. Imagine receiving a blessing when your heart is not ready. Would you protect it? Would you use it correctly? Allah's delay is often His way of saying, I love you too much to give you something you might lose. So instead of asking, when will it come? Ask, how can I grow to receive it well? That shift in mindset is the beginning of maturity in faith. There is a reason Allah mentions sabr, patience, repeatedly in the Quran. Because sabr is not just waiting, it's trusting. It's choosing not to complain, not to panic, and not to compare your timeline to others. It's believing that what's written for you is already moving toward you, even if you can't see it. Sabr is an act of worship, and Allah promises the patient ones something better than they ever imagined. Sometimes the longer it takes, the sweeter the arrival. Think of the Prophet Yusuf as his journey to success took years of pain, betrayal, and isolation. Yet when the time came, Allah didn't just give him freedom, He gave him honor, position, and reunion. The story teaches us that Allah does not forget, and when He gives in ways that leave you speechless. But it only comes when the time is right, not a moment earlier. Your timeline might not look like anyone else's, and that's a good thing. You're not meant to follow the path of others. You're meant to follow the plan Allah tailored just for you. What's meant for you is traveling a route only Allah can see. If He's making you wait, it's because He's preparing a destination worth arriving at. Don't rush to meet a version of success that was never written for your soul. Don't mistake slowness for stillness. Allah's work in your life often happens in the unseen. The people, opportunities, and changes that will bless you are moving into position. Just because you don't see the movement doesn't mean it isn't happening. You don't need to see it, you just need to trust it. Faith doesn't demand visibility. It demands conviction that the one who sees it all is guiding it all. When you rush, you risk settling for less. How many people have walked into things they thought were blessings only to realize they were distractions? Rushing can blur your vision. It can make you choose based on emotion, not guidance. But when you wait for what Allah brings, you receive what is pure, protected, and full of barakah. The gift that comes from Him will never compete with your peace. It will protect it. Allah is not slow. He is wise. When you accept that, your heart becomes calm. You stop trying to control every outcome. You stop comparing your pace with others. You stop worrying about what hasn't arrived. Instead, you start preparing yourself with gratitude, with salah, with dhikr, because when the moment arrives, you want to be someone who honors it, not someone who rushes past it. So slow down, take a deep breath. What's meant for you will not be rushed. It will not miss you. It will arrive when it is most beneficial for your dunya and your akhirah. Allah knows the perfect moment, the perfect condition, and the perfect you. Trust Him, trust His qadr, and most of all, trust that the delay is not a detour, it's divine design. Preparation happens in private before public blessings. Many of the greatest blessings you pray for require private preparation before they can be seen in public. Allah never wastes time, but He often uses time to shape you in secret. The delays, the isolation, the moments of invisibility, they're not punishment, they're polishing. Before He brings you forward, He builds you quietly, because public blessings without private strength will collapse under pressure. You may be crying behind closed doors, wondering why you're not being seen, but that hidden struggle is your training ground. Every silent dua, every private act of obedience, every moment you choose Allah over your desires, it's writing a story that the world will one day witness. What no one claps for now, Allah will reward later in a way no applause could ever match. Before the tree bears fruit, its roots must grow deep into the ground, out of sight, unseen. Likewise, Allah strengthens your roots through hardship, discipline, and unseen growth. If you rush to be seen before you're rooted, the storm will knock you down. But if you let Him shape you in silence, nothing can move you when He finally brings you into the light. We often want the outcome without the molding. We want the stage, but not the silence. Yet it's in the silence that Allah whispers the deepest lessons. He builds character when no one's watching. He tests sincerity when there's no reward in sight. These are the ingredients of barakah. What is rushed fades. What is hidden and nurtured by Allah lasts. The Prophet Muhammad spent years in seclusion and silence before his message reached the world. That wasn't a delay, it was divine strategy. Allah prepared him through solitude, reflection, and hardship, so that when the time came, he stood unshakable. His strength came from his private connection with Allah, not public praise. You might feel overlooked now, but Allah hasn't forgotten you. He's developing something within you that the world cannot see yet. This stage is necessary. It's where the sincerity of your intentions is tested. It's where your love for Allah is purified. And it's where your identity is anchored in Him, not in validation or results. Your future blessings are tied to how you handle your present silence. If you grow bitter, you delay the breakthrough. But if you grow better, you align yourself with divine timing. Let this season refine you. Let it soften your heart, discipline your soul, and clarify your purpose. Don't just wait, prepare. Don't just hope, transform. The people who are truly ready for public blessings are those who were faithful in private tests. They didn't need an audience to worship. They didn't need recognition to be consistent. They cried in sajda when no one was watching. And because of that, Allah raised them when the time was right. Your time is coming, but preparation must come first. Don't envy someone else's blessings if you haven't seen their private trials. What looks like overnight success often took years of unseen struggle. So focus on your own path. Be present in your own tests. Allah is not hiding you. He's preparing you. And when He decides to reveal your blessing, no one will be able to deny it. Every moment in private is a test of trust. Will you keep working when no one praises you? Will you keep making dua when nothing changes yet? Will you keep showing up for Allah when you feel unseen by the world? If the answer is yes, then know this: you are passing the test, and that means you are closer to the blessing than you think. When the blessing finally arrives, it will make sense why you had to wait. You'll see how the private pain shaped public strength, how the invisible work built visible results, and how Allah never wasted a single tear, a single prayer, or a single moment you spent growing in silence. It was all part of His perfect plan. So stay patient. Stay hidden if that's where Allah has you right now. Stay faithful when no one is clapping, because your private preparation is the proof that Allah loves you. He's protecting you from rising too soon so you can rise with strength, sincerity, and sustainability. When it's time, He will show the world what He's been shaping all along. Trust Allah's timing, not your timeline. We live in a world obsessed with speed, where early success is celebrated and delays are feared. But Allah does not work on your schedule. He works on His wisdom. What you think is late might actually be perfect, and what you think is fast might destroy you before you're ready. Trusting Allah means surrendering your timeline for His divine one. You may want something today that you're not ready to carry tomorrow. That's why Allah pauses the process, not to punish you, but to protect you. Because when the timing is right, the blessing comes with peace. But when it's forced, it comes with pressure. Don't rush what Allah is still preparing. Your timeline is limited, His is limitless. Sometimes we tie our worth to deadlines. By this age, I should have this. But Allah doesn't measure you by your deadlines. He measures you by your faith. When you stop panicking about time, you start seeing the beauty of divine alignment. Allah will never be late for the one who trusts His pace. The people you compare yourself to may be ahead in worldly terms, but you don't see what Allah is saving you from. Maybe their rush leads to regret, while your patience leads to peace. Maybe your wait is protecting you from a mistake you don't even know you're about to make. Trust that what's delayed is not denied. It's divinely delayed for a reason. Your timeline is filled with expectations. Allah's timeline is filled with wisdom. When things don't go your way, it's not a sign of failure. It's a sign that Allah is redirecting you towards something better. Don't judge your journey by how fast you're moving. Judge it by how deeply you're trusting. It's hard when everyone around you seems to be moving ahead. Marriage, success, travel, opportunities. But remember, what is meant for you won't be given to someone else. And what's not meant for you won't come no matter how loudly you knock. Let go of the pressure to catch up and focus on catching peace in your current moment. Every prophet faced delays before their mission began. Yusuf A.S. was thrown into a well before reaching the palace. Musa A.S. wandered before returning to face Pharaoh. Even the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, waited 40 years before receiving revelation. Their timelines were sacred, even when they looked slow to others. The longer the preparation, the stronger the result. That's Allah's way. He doesn't rush greatness, He refines it. If your life feels like it's moving slower than you hoped, perhaps it's because He's shaping you into someone who can carry more than you imagined. Someone who's not just blessed, but ready for the blessing. You don't need to understand the whole plan to trust the planner. Allah sees the future you can't. He hears the du'as you've forgotten. He knows what will matter 10 years from now. So instead of watching the clock, watch your character. Time doesn't make you ready, taqwa does. There is no wasted season with Allah. Every delay builds something in you. Maybe it's resilience. maybe it's humility, maybe it's a deeper connection to Him. Whatever it is, it's valuable. You are not stuck, you are being stationed. And when it's your moment, everything will move with barakah. Impatience drains you, tawakkul fills you. When you rely on Allah's timing, you stop fighting the process. You begin to breathe again, to see beauty in the now, to stop counting the days and start making every day count. That's what trusting Allah looks like. You'll never be behind in a story written by the one who controls time. Even when it feels slow, the pace is perfect. What matters isn't how fast you arrive, it's how aligned your heart is when you get there. That's where the true blessing lives. So stop saying, I should have been there by now. Start saying, I'm exactly where Allah wants me to be right now. That shift in mindset is powerful. It turns frustration into faith. It turns fear into freedom. And it brings you closer to peace, no matter what the calendar says. Some of the best things in life take longer because they're meant to last. Allah doesn't rush perfection. And you are not forgotten, not abandoned, not overlooked. You are being gently carried toward what is better when you're ready to receive it fully. So breathe deeply, stop racing, and walk steadily. Trust in Allah's pace over your pressure. Because the one who walks with Allah may arrive slower, but they always arrive stronger, fuller, and in perfect time. The waiting season builds spiritual strength. Waiting is never easy. It tests your heart, your faith, your patience, and your mindset. But this is where Allah strengthens you the most. When nothing is moving and everything feels paused, something sacred is actually happening within you. You're learning to let go of control. You're learning to depend not on the world, but on your Creator. And that shift is the beginning of strength. Allah doesn't make you wait to break you. He makes you wait to build you. Just as muscles grow in resistance, your spiritual strength grows when your soul feels stretched. The waiting season humbles you, softens your heart, and turns your attention inward toward the only one who truly has control over your life. Sometimes Allah holds things back not because you're not worthy, but because He wants your character to rise before your status does. He knows what's ahead, and He prepares you in silence. The quiet days, the unanswered du'as, the invisible progress, they're not meaningless, they're divine groundwork. When you are forced to wait, you begin to pray differently, with more sincerity, with more surrender. Your du'as stop being demands and become conversations. You speak to Allah not just to get something, but to feel Him closer. And that, my brother or sister, is a treasure greater than what you're waiting for. In the rush of dunya, waiting teaches stillness. It removes the illusion of control. It reminds you that Allah is the only planner whose timing is perfect. And while the world may call it delay, in Islam, we know it as divine wisdom. Because Allah is never late. He's always right on time. You may not see the growth now, but later you'll look back and realize the wait changed you. It made you gentler, wiser, more grounded. The things you used to beg for, you now trust will come when they're meant to. You stop striving out of desperation and start living with trust. In the waiting season, your ego is tested. You want to move, to act, to fix, but Allah tells you, pause. You want answers, but He gives you silence, not to punish you, but to quiet the noise inside you so you can finally hear what your soul truly needs. This is when you realize strength is not found in constant movement, but in stillness with purpose. You begin to value prayer, reflection, and dhikr more than progress reports. Because when the heart is calm with Allah, time becomes a friend, not a threat. People might think you're stagnant, but they don't see the spiritual training going on behind the scenes. Allah is preparing your patience, your gratitude, your resilience. These are things no job title, relationship, or worldly success can ever teach you. Only the waiting season can. Sometimes the doors are locked not to keep you out, but to keep you safe. What you're asking for might be beautiful, but Allah knows if your heart can carry it yet. So He waits, and in that waiting, He slowly transforms you into someone who can handle what's coming. If everything came the moment you asked, you'd never grow. You'd never build a deeper connection with Allah. you'd never learn to surrender or discover the hidden strength in letting go. It's through waiting that your faith is purified and your intentions are clarified. The pain of delay softens your heart in a way blessings never could. It makes you more grateful when the blessings finally arrive. It strips you of arrogance, entitlement, and impatience, and dresses you in saber, tawakkul, and humility. Remember, the Prophet, peace be upon him, waited years for victory. Yusuf A.S. waited in the well and prison. Musa A.S. wandered the desert. Every chosen one faced delay because the waiting prepared them for what they were destined to carry. And the same applies to you. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. Your soul is being trained to rely on Allah before relying on the outcome. That's the kind of strength no one can see, but it's the most powerful kind. It anchors you when storms hit. It keeps you standing when others fall. So don't curse the wait, cherish it. It's not an empty pause, it's a divine process. What you're becoming in this silence will bless every future season. Stay patient, stay close to Allah, and believe, when it's finally your time, you'll walk into it with the quiet power only waiting could build. Your du'as are already working behind the scenes. You may not see it, but the moment you raise your hands in dua, something begins to move. In the heavens, angels respond. In your soul, a connection awakens. Even if you don't feel it instantly, Allah hears. He never ignores a servant who calls on Him with sincerity. Just because you can't see the answer yet doesn't mean your dua isn't working. A dua is not a switch you flip for instant results. It's a seed planted in the soil of trust. Sometimes it sprouts quickly, sometimes it takes seasons, but Allah never wastes it. Behind the curtain of the unseen, your request is already being woven into your future piece by piece in ways more beautiful than you imagine. When you pray with tears and silence follows, it's easy to feel forgotten. But remember, Allah doesn't delay to hurt you. He delays to position everything perfectly. He knows the right time, the right way, and the right version of what you need. Your dua is being shaped with wisdom, not neglected with indifference. There are angels assigned to record your every whisper to Allah. Not a single sigh, not a single tear escapes His knowledge. He knows what you meant even when your words failed. He knows what you asked for in fear, in pain, in secret, and He never forgets. Your dua is working even when nothing around you seems to change. It's calming your heart. It's softening your soul. It's aligning your life with Allah's will. Sometimes the answer is not a new outcome, but a new strength inside you. That too is an answered prayer. The most powerful part of dua is not the result. It's the relationship it builds between you and Allah. You begin to speak more from your heart. You cry not out of weakness, but from hope. You realize that the act of turning to Him is already a victory over despair. Dua reminds you that you're not alone. It tells your soul, someone all-powerful is listening. Someone merciful is working on it. You might not get what you want, but you'll get what you need. And often you'll find your heart healed in ways you didn't even ask for. The more sincere your dua, the deeper the spiritual transformation. When you ask with full faith, you begin to walk differently. You stop fearing outcomes and start trusting plans. You stop chasing people and start drawing closer to Allah. That's the unseen barakah of dua. Sometimes Allah delays the response because He loves the sound of your voice. He loves the way you turn to Him when no one else has answers. And in that delay, your dua becomes a doorway through which your faith walks into new levels of trust. Don't measure the power of your dua by how fast the result arrives. Measure it by the peace that slowly begins to grow in your chest. That peace is not from this world. It's a direct sign that Allah is near and that your supplication is already at His throne. Dua is a divine transaction. You give your worries and in return, Allah gives His plan. You let go of your burden and He replaces it with His wisdom. And the beauty is, unlike this world, He never runs out of resources. His answer may be different than what you asked for, but never less than what you need. Many of your past dues have already come true. You just forgot how badly you once begged for them. Look at where you are now. Look at what you survived. Somewhere along the way, a silent prayer was answered in ways you couldn't predict. Sometimes the delay in your dua is because Allah is protecting you from what you cannot see. He knows what would have harmed you. He sees the future, and His silence is often louder than your most desperate cry. Trust that no answer is still an answer filled with mercy. You may think nothing is happening, but in the unseen, your dua is traveling. It's echoing through the heavens. It's being carried to the right moment, the right place, the right outcome. When it lands, it won't just change your situation, it will change your life. One day you will look back and realize that what you prayed for took time, not because it was forgotten, but because it was being perfected. The version you receive will be proof that Allah didn't give you less. He gave you more than you dared to ask for. Keep making dua even when you feel tired. Keep whispering to Allah even when nothing makes sense. Because the one who can change everything is listening. And every dua you send is being stored, protected, and prepared for a moment that will leave you in awe. Remember, the delay is not denial, the silence is not rejection, and your patience is not in vain. Your dua is working behind the scenes, building, shaping, aligning. Just hold on a little longer. What you asked for is coming with more barakah than you ever imagined. And even if you don't get exactly what you prayed for, you will get something better. You will get Allah's nearness, His mercy, His light in your darkest days. And that, my dear brother or sister, is the best answer of all. When it comes, it'll be bigger than you imagined. You may think your dua is small, quiet, and hidden, but the response Allah is preparing is far greater than anything your mind could grasp. When it comes, it will not just meet your needs, it will exceed your expectations, because Allah doesn't give according to your limited imagination. He gives from His unlimited mercy and wisdom. Sometimes Allah withholds what you're begging for, not to hurt you, but to give you more than you even knew to ask. He sees what you can't. He knows what you'll need next year, not just today. So when the answer arrives, it doesn't just fit your moment, it fits your entire future. That's the beauty of divine timing. You ask for a job and Allah gives you a purpose. You pray for one door and He opens a path. You ask for someone to stay and He sends someone better who uplifts your deen. What you receive might not come in the shape you expected, but when it comes, it will feel like everything finally makes sense. The pain you endured, the delay you hated, the tears you cried, they were not wasted. They were watering the ground for something greater. And when it finally arrives, you'll understand why you had to go through what you did. Every hardship was planting roots for a greater ease. Have you ever looked back at something you once wanted and realized how small it was compared to what Allah gave instead? That's the lesson here. Allah's plan always stretches beyond the walls of your imagination. You think in days, He prepares in decades. You think in problems, He responds with wisdom. Sometimes Allah lets you feel empty so He can fill you with something better. He removes what you cling to so He can give you what you were created for. The delay wasn't a denial. It was a redirection towards something far more beautiful. And when it finally comes, it will feel like it was worth every second of waiting. When it comes, you'll understand that every unanswered dua wasn't ignored, it was being transformed. Allah was rearranging people, places, and timing to deliver a gift wrapped in perfect barakah. And when it arrives, it will be so aligned, so peaceful, you'll know instantly, this is what He was preparing me for. It may take time, but don't let the wait weaken your hope. Some of the most powerful gifts are those that arrive when you thought nothing was left. Just when you're about to give up, Allah shows you why the wait was necessary. And when that moment comes, your gratitude will outweigh the pain. Your story isn't over, and the chapter you've been praying for hasn't been forgotten. In fact, it's being written with such care, such precision, that when you see it unfold, you'll feel humbled. Because the gift will not just be a blessing, it will be a sign of how deeply Allah knows you. When it comes, it won't just benefit you, it'll bless others through you. It will carry a ripple effect, the marriage, the job, the healing, the peace. It will impact your family, your friends, your future generations. That's how Allah works. He doesn't just answer you, He transforms your legacy. You prayed with sincerity and Allah responded with power. You asked from a place of struggle, and He answered with a reward that carries peace, strength, and wisdom. When it comes, you'll know it was sent from the one who always writes better endings than we could plan. Don't measure what's coming based on what you've lost. Measure it by the size of your patience, the depth of your faith, and the mercy of your Lord. When Allah brings it, He brings healing, restoration, and beauty in layers that touch your soul, not just your circumstances. The reason it's taking time is because it's not ordinary. It's not rushed. It's being prepared with care. And when it's ready, you'll realize that it had to take this long. Because what's coming is not temporary relief. It's a permanent elevation. And your heart will know it was always worth it. When Allah gives, He gives from places you never expected. He brings solutions from doors you didn't even knock on. And when it comes, you'll look up and say, Subhanallah, I didn't even see this coming. That's how beautifully He answers, with wisdom, surprise, and barakah. So hold on to your faith. Keep making dua. Keep working with intention, because the next chapter might just be the one that changes everything. When it arrives, it won't come alone. It will come with understanding, closure, and a peace you didn't know you needed. The waiting season is hard, but it's where you grow. It's where your trust is tested. And when the reward comes, you won't just be receiving something, you'll be someone new, someone stronger, more patient, more connected to Allah. That transformation is part of the gift. When it comes, you'll understand why you didn't get what you once cried for. Allah had something greater, not just for your situation, but for your soul. And now that you've been refined by patience and lifted by faith, you're finally ready to receive it. And so walk forward with certainty. What you prayed for is coming. What you've been waiting for is already in motion. And when it arrives, it will be more powerful, more beautiful, and more perfect than you ever dared to imagine. That's the promise of the one who never fails those who trust Him. So if life feels slow, if your heart aches waiting for the next chapter, remember this: Allah is never late. He's perfecting what you prayed for. Every no was protection. Every delay was precision. And every quiet moment was a sign that something bigger is being built behind the scenes. Don't rush the process. Honor it. Don't doubt the path. Surrender to it. Because when it finally arrives, you'll realize why it had to take this long. What Allah sends is always worth the wait. Stay patient, stay faithful. Your qadr is already in motion, and it's headed straight for you.